allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, let's get this meeting going. We start with just some housekeeping. We've got the exit over here in the far corner and the exit you came in. We do have a generator, so in case for some reason the power goes out, it'll pop back on. And if anything else, just follow Ron. He'll be the first one out. And so not a problem at all. Ron's always the first one out. A couple other things. Many of you have been here before, but the microphones, when you want to speak during the public hearing part, I'll turn the mics on to that part of the room. That means every conversation you have will be recorded. So if you got a little sidebar and you're talking about whatever, it'll be on YouTube. So just remember that, and I'll try to remind you again when we do that. So with that, we'll be following the rules and procedures adopted by this board on January 3rd, 2024, and they are on the website in case you'd like to look at them. And that's the way we're going to handle the meeting. So you probably looked and there's some agendas over there. We're going to follow the agenda. So first item up is the approval of meeting minutes. Did everybody get a chance to review the minutes? Anybody have any comments, questions, concerns? Do I have a motion to approve the meeting minutes? Motion by Tim, seconded by Aaron. Any other comments? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
No opposed. So it's been approved. Legal notices had been published in the Daily Messenger. Order of business, first one up is a continued re-subdivision, PB 0702-23, preliminary 3-lot re-subdivision. Public hearing is continued. This is on the Fowler application. So let me just get everybody up to speed here on where we have been on this one. This is a continuation of public hearing. And we'll open this public hearing. We'll go through the same processes we've gone through in the past. We'll ask the applicant or his designee what has changed, and we'll go from there. We've received some additional information that we requested, including the seeker EAF part 1. So we have some information now to move forward with the environmental record. The process is that we'll hear what's going on tonight. The applicant has to withdraw the zoning application they have and put a new application in. Once that new application for the zoning request has been made, then the town staff can forward that to the county for the county review. Once that has occurred, it can come back and we can move forward. The zoning board, we assume, will ask us to give our recommendations or comments, I should say, on the application. And we expect to hear that on April 3rd, I believe. And I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but I want everybody to understand the process. And then on April 3rd, we expect to do the seeker, complete that, and then the zoning board can do their thing. Once the zoning board has completed their action, then it can come back to us for the completion of the re-subdivision, then the site plan, and go forth that way. So that's pretty much it. So the applicant or whoever can give us kind of an update of where we're at and anything I may have missed.
Hi there, Jessica Gullah from Evans Fox LLP on behalf of the applicant appearing virtually tonight. I can provide you with an update regarding the ZBA application. It's my understanding and anticipation that ZBA application will be submitted next week. And I further understand that you guys have a resolution in front of you
Yes.
for your consideration. We have no objections to anything on that resolution.
Fantastic. Okay. With that, I'll turn it to Ron.
No, that's good news to hear from the attorneys. I have drafted a resolution to continue, directing town staff to submit
a complete application to the county. It's necessary that we have a new zoning area variance because we do have a new design for the project. And to submit it without that area variance application, the county would only return it as incomplete.
Okay,
So we're trying to save 30 days there if we can. That's all I
Okay.
have.
all right. Augie,
No comments?
okay, highway, engineering.
I don't have anything in it.
Okay, this is the public hearing, so I'm gonna turn on the mics to the room, watch your sidebar chatter. Anybody have any comments? Hopefully I gave you the process. The resolution will say that we are, tabling basically the, public hearing until April 3rd, I believe. Is that right, Ron?
I believe that's the date that's in there.
Yes. The planning board's next scheduled meeting on Wednesday, April 3rd. I should remember that. That's my birthday. So that's my birthday present to deal with the Fowler application. All right. Yay. Okay. Anybody have any comments they'd like to make a comment at this point? Yes, ma'am. Tell us who you are, where you live. and-
Questions?
Okay.
So, my name's Maureen
Okay.
Dispenza, and I live at 6237 Pheasants Crossing.
Perfect.
And so we're, I think by my notebook, somewhere 3-4 years out on this parcel, yes?
Been a while.
Yeah,
It's been a
well,
while.
it has. We went from 1 to 2, and 2, the neighborhood had no issue with because
Right.
visually 2 fits. The problem came in when we tried to go to 3, 4, 8, whatever it is. So here's my second question, and I'm trying to still understand your processes.
Okay.
The Fowler Family Trust received a letter from Mr. Del Fiore back in 2022 discussing his appeal for a flag lot there.
Okay.
And, based on the reading I've done with regard to flag lots, whether the Fowler Family Trust applies for a 30-foot driveway width, 22-foot wide, 80-foot wide, whatever it is, seemingly, we are wasting town resources to keep kicking the can down the road, hoping eventually something's gonna stick. And with the amount of projects going on here in the town of Farmington, and again, your paperwork binders have to be far wider than mine. I guess I'm not understanding why the town guidelines aren't more strict, for lack of a better term, in terms of how many times within even a 5-year period, someone can continue to submit applications and variances and changes and whatnot before you say, okay, we're all taking a break now, because clearly the plan isn't clear or doesn't fit the criteria. And it's like Groundhog Day.
Well, I can tell you from my standpoint, and I'll certainly let staff do that, say that we have certain, the town regulations allow people to do what they're allowed to do. The town board can and will, as long as state law doesn't tie their hands, allows them to do certain things. But right now, this is where we're at, and this is the process that we have. And I'll let Ron, I don't know what we can comment on. I mean,
But you understand. the
I understand your
perspective that we
comments,
have,
but
and-
we have to live within the rules that we have, and it
I
is what it
understand.
is.
But yeah, I was curious, just because I mean, think about the amount of hours you all have spent here. Plus what you do behind the scenes to prepare for meetings like this one,
That we do.
right? So anyway, that. was-
Augie, you have any comments? I mean,
I'm gonna refer to Ron. He's got this one.
Basically, the application to the zoning board of appeals
Mhm.
is an appeal of the interpretation that had been made by the code enforcement officer,
Okay,
okay? Which provides for an application granting, if granted by the zoning board of appeals, a lot that doesn't have the 125-foot width.
Yeah.
At the street line.
Yep.
That's what we're here tonight for. What we have received as a result of all this over the past 6, 8 months is a new application for a lot with a different lot width than what was originally submitted back last year. Last year it was 30 feet, this year it's 22 feet. So we have to have a new area variance to identify that change. And that is what we're waiting on the applicant to submit. When they do submit that application, then we, the planning board, has directed staff with the draft resolution that has been prepared to forward it to the county and to the town of Victor. Has to go to the town of Victor because of the proximity to the boundary line. But in any event, it's the way in which state law determines that we have to operate, both as a planning board and a zoning board of appeals.
And I would just comment that there is no answer to your question.
Well, no, but you did a nice job, and my only response to that would be, you know, you folks were good enough to grant the Family Fowler Trust more time, even though they didn't meet the guidelines the first time. And then the second time they changed counsel. Counsel was not the applicant. The Fowler Family Trust was, and really weren't entitled to any more time. And in good conscience, I guess you folks decided it was necessary for them to try and get their house in order.
We do everything we can for
Agreed.
all applicants, no matter who they are, where they are, whatever,
Right.
to make sure that they get every opportunity to get what they want, as long as it fits in the guidelines. And this is one exactly where the guidelines haven't been met, so it has to go to the zoning board of appeals. We go through however many iterations it takes to get that taken care of, then we can turn around and look at it from us. So we bend over backwards to make sure that we do whatever we can for any resident of the town to make sure that we take care of their property.
And so then, if I understand you, then the meeting that you will decide on this property will be April 3rd?
April 3rd, we expect to do a final seeker determination, which means the environmental record, we will review it and make a determination on the environmental record. At that point, I expect that we will put together comments, at least, probably not serious recommendations, but at least comments back to the zoning board of appeals, which will give them the seeker that they need to move forward, and some comments from the planning board about the application. And then they do their thing, and then whatever they end up doing, we then have to take it, if they approve everything, if they approve it, then we take the application to move forward. If they don't, then we have to come back and look to see if there's any changes need to be made, because we wouldn't have an approval of the variance. So it just depends on the whole process, and then we go through and start it kind of over again.
So should we be going to both sets of meetings then? Like,
I wouldn't think, I mean,
I'm not gonna tell you not to come.
yeah, I mean, zoning board of appeals won't have anything on the agenda for the next meeting. I doubt.
So they can't take action until you take action on C.
Right.
And C won't be taking place until April, correct?
okay, that's what I was trying to, thank
Yeah.
you, that's what I'm trying to figure out here.
I think the April meeting is the meeting that most likely you would come to, and that's the environmental record. And then-
There will be discussions, I believe, at the March zoning board meeting, because that's when they're gonna accept the new application and request that the planning board provide them some feedback. I don't know how much will be discussed at the March zoning board meeting, but the April 3rd meeting here will be important, I think, for anyone to hear. And then the next meeting after that of the zoning board of appeals, and then it's really in their court until they finish it up, however long that takes them to finish up. So that is the information that I would pass on from the general standpoint.
I'm writing as fast as I can, hang in there.
Well, you'll have it on YouTube. You can listen back to it later. The pure entertainment value. Yes, Ron.
if I understood the attorney tonight, she said that they would be submitting a new application for the zoning board of appeals to act on.
With a withdrawal first and then
Right.
then the new.
I'm not sure whether that is going to be acted on in February or March.
Well, they
I can
won't have accounting back by, well, they might have accounting back by February or March.
Just to clarify in terms of timing as to what I said, we expect that application, Ron, to be submitted by the end of next week.
Okay.
Perfect.
not
Next thing you
earlier.
have a withdrawal and a submission.
Yep.
Perfect.
Okay.
Okay, anyone else want to speak for or against this application? Anyone else want to speak for or against this application? Yes, sir.
Do I have to stand up or?
Well, you just tell us your name and address is the
It's,
most important part.
Pete LeBlanc, 6262 Pheasants Crossing.
Okay,
I'm in the neighborhood here. I've been to a few of these meetings and not entirely sure what I'm here tonight for. I was told, I want to support the, I don't like the proposal. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this stuff. I don't like the 3 lots idea.
Okay.
I'm against it, I guess, so. Okay, now I'm against it.
okay,
The neighborhood is nice, all the lots are about the same size. 2 lots seems to fit appropriately in that space. 3 lots, I don't see that it makes sense. And a lot of that acreage is unusable.
okay,
And we've talked about this before. A lot of those acres in whatever lots, however you dice them up, it's not usable land. So I feel like there's nice property there to put 2 homes on, but not 3. And no matter how you puzzle piece it up, it's not gonna look right. That's my opinion.
okay, thank you for your feedback. Again, the most important thing probably tonight was to understand the process of what we're
Sure.
doing and where we're going and
Okay,
the dates and the rest, so you
Yeah.
don't miss something in the process.
Yeah.
We take all your feedback to heart. We make our decisions based on facts as opposed to,
opinion.
what we like and don't like.
Okay,
We spend a lot of time focusing on facts. When we get to the environmental record, we'll look specifically at the facts of the environmental record. The part 1 that's been provided and all the details and all the questions that were answered, we'll look at all those pieces and go from there. So everything that we do and say and have access to is available if you want it from the town building department. If you want to look at drawings and papers and documents, they have that, and certainly you can foil anything you want, so just as a general information. Okay, with that, anybody else have anything else to say for or against this application? And of course, we only have, one,
comment?
you can go ahead, ma'am, go ahead.
Do I have to say my name again?
No, we know who you are.
Okay. So we're going from 30 feet width driveway, right, to 22 feet, if I understand it? Not length, width, correct?
It's not the width of the driveway. It's the width of the lot, the highway.
Yeah.
Okay,
The driveway will be smaller than that, but it'll be in that 22 feet as opposed to in the 30 feet.
And so currently existing homes have an average lot width of 141 feet. And driveways go from the road to the home minimally are at 90 feet. I don't see how, whether it's 22 feet, 30 feet, how that's gonna fit consistently with what's already established in the neighborhood.
Well, the drive is a single car drive, I believe, going back to the opening.
Which
for
is
the-
problematic, because all the other driveways are meant for at least 2 vehicles.
Okay. It's the width of the driveway in that space. That space has got to have the driveway and room for the utilities to come down through that same piece of.
Yeah, I know,
front
it's
piece of
flat lot.
property. Yeah.
Yeah, I got it.
Right. So that's what is currently going to be discussed by the zoning board of appeals. That's not our area of responsibility, it's their area to determine whether or not that they feel that that's appropriate or not.
Okay, Kim, thank you.
Anyone else have anything? Okay, we have a resolution, I'm sorry, let's go to the board, I'm sorry.
Anybody online?
Well, yeah, we only have one person online, I believe. Oh, sorry, I'm sorry, there's one other. Anyone online have any comments for the public hearing? Missed them. Anybody else online have any comments for the public hearing? Okay, we'll start with the board. Tim? Any comments? I mean, we're kicking it down to April, but. Doug? Adrian? Aaron? I have nothing at this time. So we have before us a resolution that has been reviewed by the applicant and they have no issues with the conditions of the resolution. That it was online. You hopefully had a chance to look at it. It basically outlines the steps required to get to the next step. So it says, do this, do that, the town will do this and do that, and then we'll get to the point we can finally, move forward. And we hope to do that starting on April 3rd. So, do I have a motion to waive the reading and approve this resolution as presented? Moved by Adrian, seconded by Doug. Any other comments? And again, this here actually basically, adjourns tonight's public hearing to April 3rd. So, okay, we've had a motion and a second. Any other comments? Clerk, take a roll call vote, please.
DeLucia, Doug Leeds, Aaron Sweeney,
Aye.
Adrian Ballard. Ed Evans.
Aye. Okay, that's the follow-up. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, have a good day. Okay. Next item up is the continued preliminary subdivision and site plan for where am I looking here? Attic Lane, there you go. Some reason it's not on the application, but whatever. Our brain froze there for a minute. Okay, what do we have, Ryan? Do me a favor, step over and pull that door closed, will you? So that they, we don't hear them discussing things. Thanks, Ryan.
Ryan Industrial BME Associates. I'm here tonight with Rob Renner from Canandaigua Development Company LLC. Just to get a quick recap from the last planning board meeting. And we did up here at the PRC meeting last Thursday. There were no comments of consequence from any of the town staff present at that meeting. Since then, Friday we did receive a draft resolutions for the preliminary site plan subdivision approval. However, there were a couple of conditions that were comments that did not receive the date, so we have asked this board to continue this meeting so that we have a chance to address those comments.
Okay. I believe we do have that resolution that was sent out today, so. Okay, that's it. Turn it over to Ron.
No, two things tonight. First of all is, you can take action under seeker to make the determination the significance because it has no implication on any of the conditions
Right.
to be discussed, as far as I'm aware. So I would urge you to, number one, accept the parts 2 and 3 in the supplement
Mm-hmm.
that you asked us to do.
Correct.
And number 2, that then make a determination under seeker, draft resolution prepared for that. And then continue the public hearing as Brian has requested to the next meeting on the 21st to allow Brian and the applicant to meet with town staff to discuss the conditions of approval that they have raised concerns about. Hopefully, we'll have the resolution of that on the 21st of February. and be able to move forward with this.
Okay. All right, Augie.
No, I agree with Ron. Look forward to having a meeting in the next week or so and get these concerns resolved and move forward.
Sooner the better. That way we can get the changes if needed in the resolution, get it back to us, so. Highway,
No comments.
engineering.
I don't have anything different from last meeting. I'm good.
Okay, it is an open public hearing, so does anybody want to speak for or against it? Anybody online? Okay, with that,
Next meeting is enough time for that.
as long as they get in quick and talk to staff, I think we'll be okay.
Yeah, I think,
Because we're really talking about the resolution itself, yeah. Yeah,
2 weeks, yeah. So
yeah, I know, don't take,
everybody's busy, I don't, that
Yeah.
enough time, so is everybody that timeline, ours should bump into the first one of March.
now, my understanding, based on a meeting we had this afternoon with Dan and Augie and I, that we're prepared to meet next week with them before Dan leaves for vacation. And we'll have answers.
good,
Yeah, our preference would be to be, scheduled for the next.
okay? Okay, so does anybody have any comments? Let's first on the resolution to continue it. So we do have a resolution to continue the public hearing. We can do that and then we'll do the seeker. So we have a resolution to continue the public hearing to February 21st. Do I have a motion to waive the reading and approve the resolution? Moved by Doug, seconded by Adrian. Any other comments? Clerk, take a roll call vote.
DeLucia.
Aye.
Doug Beat.
Aye.
Kevin Sweeney.
Aye.
Gonzalez.
Aye.
And Henry.
Aye. Okay, next item up would be the seeker. Planning board has received the parts 1, 2, and 3. Has everyone had a chance to review everything, the full EAF and the amendment to the part 3 as well? And reviewed the resolution for determination of seeker. And with that, anybody have any other comments? With that, no comments, I would say I'd ask for a motion to accept the draft resolution. And move forward with the, without reading the seeker determination. Moved by Adrian, seconded by
Aaron.
Aaron, any other comments? Now, this is that the proposed actions will not result in any significant adverse environmental impact. So basically, it's a neg deck, so. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any other comments? Clerk, take a roll call vote, please.
DeLucia. Doug Beat. Kevin Sweeney.
Aye.
Adrian Bellis.
Aye.
And Henry.
Aye, so seeker's completed, so that piece of it's done. We get with the staff, get the resolution for the approval of the subdivision and the preliminary site plan, and we'll get moving forward and get you guys building out there. Okay? All right, thank you. Okay, that we have. Now, next item up is other board actions. We have Creekwood Phase 2 deeming the application adequate to set a public hearing. Again, we are discussing this. This is our new process for moving forward with this. So this is our first one of having to set the public hearing date. So go ahead and tell us a little bit about it.
As always, I'm glad to be the one to be first.
I'm sure you are.
Matt Tomlinson with Marathon Engineering.
Thanks, Matt. Hey, Griffin. Hey.
Who represent Crickwood, first for the last four, and then keep going with my own. So
Okay,
what you're looking at here is I tried to color code this to make it a little easier, versus saying numbers and having you guys try to read it, but, we were involved with Tintail Crossing, several years ago. The first phase was approved and built, I think, in about 2016 roughly. 2018, we got 2017, we got phase 2 approved, that portion of the project, which is represented in the orange here, was approved by this board. We got signatures, but the Conifer has not been successful in obtaining funding through.
Correct.
SBR.
Mhm.
So, Brickwood Management built the townhouses along Bedford Drive bordering this property and then approached Conifer to purchase the remaining lands and develop them as townhomes, market rate townhomes. A little bit different of a product, obviously, than Conifer has constructed, but still keeping in, or in character with the neighborhood and kind of this multi-family transition to the single family residential, between County Road 41 and Farm Road. So, had several discussions over the months with the towns. The town, approached both Conifer and Brickwood to gauge interest in, the town taking dedication of the main road through the property. And I'll talk road names for a little bit. Right now, it's Quentin Drive off County Route 41, which is the darker blue towards the top. That is dedicated roadway that the town owns and maintains currently.
Mhm.
The light blue, was or is a private roadway, with the name Pintail Crossing. And that connects, or was designed to connect the Running Brook Road with an emergency gate for, emergency access vehicles. That was not, contemplated to be a through road at the time of the previous. So secondary access into the neighborhood, especially given some, what I understand to be upcoming capital improvements within that neighborhood that would curtail access for residents. The town asked whether or not the owner and developer would be interested in that road being dedicated, which the answer was yes. There's some things that need to be done prior to the town, being comfortable taking that dedication. But staff, developer, owner are on board with that. However, dedication of the road makes now a front setback corridor to the middle of the project that previously didn't have front setbacks at the end of Pintail Crossing or Quentin Drive and at the end of Running Brook Road. So without dedication of the road, what was being proposed or is going to be proposed to this board if we're successful with the variances on the townhouse, portion of what Brickwood is purchasing, would have been right. No variances, way under all the density requirements, less impervious than the original approval. Stormwater is already taken care of, water and sewer are already in. So it was a much more streamlined approval process to move forward without dedication. However, again, I think the interest in for long-term maintenance, access for residents and neighbors, it's agreeable to the owner and developer to move forward with that, but there's some other approvals that are necessary. So we're here for tonight, number one, is preliminary plat, consideration by the board or setting the public hearing. And secondly, we, in our letter and in the supplemental, layout plan for what's being proposed, have listed or outlined all the variances that are going to be required. I believe staff's had an opportunity to review those and bring their interpretations, because before, I believe this board can act even on the preliminary level, we'll have to go to the ZBA, get those approvals and come back, to finish up the preliminary approval. All of which, of course, are contingent on closings and transfer of land and that kind of thing. So that's really what we're here to do, is kind of take that first step. And just to tell you what the colors are, green are what will be lots 1 and 2 that'll be retained by Conifer that comprise the existing development or what phase 1 was. Orange is what Brickwood will be purchasing, developing 40, again, townhouse style, market rate apartments. So getting rid of the parking lots that were in between buildings, there'll be driveways, garages, that kind of thing. Very similar to what's been built on Redford Drive. The darker blue is what's dedicated already, and the light blue is what will or is proposed to be dedicated.
With a connection to Running Brook.
With a connection that will not be gated in.
Okay. All right, Ron?
Yeah, the capital project that Matt refers to is the replacement of the Woodbridge Drive over the stream there. And that is something that has been determined to be in need. The county is working with the state to provide funding for the replacement of that bridge, and to include as part of that space for pedestrian sidewalk along 41. I'm gonna let Tim talk about, you know, the transportation or the highway issues involved here. It is a route that the Canandaigua City School District uses. It's a means of access that a lot of people in Farmbrook use on a daily basis to get out to 41 without having to go through Farmbrook, and without this being a dedicated road, the route during the detour would be through Farmbrook, which would be less than desirable. Okay, with that in mind, I'm gonna jump right to Tim and let him talk a little bit about.
Yeah, so originally, Pintail, the road going through there was built as a private road.
Right.
So we went out there, we actually took some core samples. We checked the road. The road is actually in very good condition. And so we feel that, you know, the town would have no problem taking that over as,
Good, I was really concerned about that.
you know, the width of that road isn't what our normal roads are.
Mhm.
So they're 10-foot lanes. It's only 20 feet wide on the road instead of 22. Usually we're 11-foot lanes. But, you know, like Ron said, with that bridge being out at some point, it's, you know, the town's interest to get the traffic to go through there would be quite helpful.
Good.
You know, there's sections of that, towards the end of Pintail where some of that road's gonna have to be replaced because it didn't meet our specs, or we didn't feel the base under there was very good, so. But then after it goes past, when they build the section of road out to Running Brook, it'll be built with the 22-foot width and 11-foot lanes, so
Okay,
it'll be back to our specs, but
good.
yeah, so the town will take dedication of that road.
Okay, Augie?
No, I agree with everything Ron and Tim said. Another very big component to this is emergency access. You know, with that bridge not being there, during that replacement, which is gonna be several months. Without this, you know, connector piece, you're talking about coming in off of Farmbrook Drive for any emergencies on Running Brook, so that's a huge, huge concern. So I think it's very, you know, beneficial for the town to have dedication to this. The applicants have been very good to work with, trying to, you know, resolve this. Again, unfortunately, just, it does create some variances for them, so.
All right, Lance?
No, I don't have any objection. I think that the material provided seems to meet our criteria. So I have no objection to the board moving forward with accepting it and scheduling the public hearing.
Okay. Again, this is just an an action deeming the application adequate to set a public hearing. Board have any comments? Adrian? Tim, Doug? Okay, my only comment, and I'm just gonna come up with the general comments now before I'll say them again many, many times. I assume these are not gonna be basement, townhouses. I assume there'll probably be one-car garages. Just be careful parking, you know, that if you get a 3-bedroom townhouse, you're gonna have 3 cars maybe in the family, depending on the age of the teenager. Parking has always been a pain. I grew up in this for the last 20 some odd years during my military stint. So I've lived in these kind of places, and I know that parking is always a pain. And now that you're gonna have it as a town road, there'll be no parking on a town road during the winter time. So if it's a private road, you can park wherever the hell you want. But on a town road now, there's not gonna be any parking on the town road, so everything's gonna have to be off. So just really take a look at parking, because once you build them, you can't change them. So it's gonna be a pain. So just be real careful of that. I'll be looking very closely at that. So with that, do we have a resolution right on that, Ron?
I think you do.
We had a resolution to basically deem the application adequate, set a public hearing. I have a motion to waive the reading and approve the resolution as presented. Motion by Tim, seconded by
Aaron.
Aaron, any other comments? Clerk, take a roll call vote, please.
Lucia.
Aye.
Tom Dietz. Karen Sweeney.
Aye.
Ethan Bellis. And I'm Jerry.
Aye, okay. We're moving forward to set the public hearing. The public hearing date is when? Remind me again.
21st.
21st of February.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's start the public hearing. We'll get moving on this and do what we gotta do. I don't know if we'll allow that.
But Griffin and Evan will be here, I'll make sure we have answers on part.
Perfect. Well, yeah, just take a look at it because in the winter, it's a pain, yeah, especially parking. And you know, nobody's gonna use their garage. It's gonna be storage.
They need to go on the basement, I honestly. am not-
Probably not, but yeah, probably not, but it's just, even with basements, heaven forbid, they're still gonna park outside because they're gonna stack everything in their garage and they're not, it's just gonna be a pain. And then heaven forbid they get a visitor somewhere. Of course, a year like this, it's not a big deal. So, all right, have a good one. Thank you. Okay, we have open discussions. Ron, you're up.
Okay, first of all, you
Thanks,
all,
guys. Appreciate it.
Yes, thank you.
you all should have received your newsletters or the.
Yes,
From the town.
yep.
In that newsletter is a link to the town website for the Park and Rec survey.
Yeah, I haven't done that yet. I don't know why I didn't.
Why not?
I don't know. I don't use Parks and Rec.
Well, we want to hear from you
Okay,
because you're going to pay for it one way or another.
well, there's no doubt about that.
So that survey started arriving in the homes on Saturday. Monday morning, we heard that there was 163 surveys already completed.
Nice.
As of today, there's over 260 surveys completed.
Good.
Good response, good distribution of where the responses are coming from. We may or we may not be sending out postcards with a link to remind everybody. We'll see how that happens. We'd like to save those few $1,000s if we could to put
Yeah.
towards the project.
When is the closing date for the,
End of the month, the
End of the month.
27th, 28th of this month. The bid opening for the sidewalk project is next Wednesday here at 10 o'clock in the town hall. We keep our fingers crossed on that. Tim and I had a meeting yesterday morning with state DOT officials. They're looking at improving signals at the existing intersections as well as some lighting at those intersections along 332 between Colette Road and
Parkside Drive all the way in Canandaigua.
Parkside, yeah.
what are they gonna do to make them better? I mean,
Different configurations of the turning movements.
So,
Go ahead.
so instead of having the lights going across the wires like that,
yeah,
they're actually gonna put poles at the intersections and the poles are gonna come out. So there's actually gonna be 4 of them there. There'll be one on one side, one over here, one over here, one over here. So they're actually putting poles with the lights on them. So it's not, so the light isn't in the middle of the intersection, it's at the intersection.
Like 2896. The ones they put there.
interesting.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. And then they're not gonna allow the green arrow with, then it goes to the flashing yellow. It's gonna be a red arrow, you're gonna have to stop. You're not gonna be able to make a left turn without a green arrow. Help at the mall, exactly. That is gonna be the,
It might work pretty
That
good,
is-
like 96 and 332.
absolutely.
Yes,
Yeah.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's another improvement they're doing there.
cool, interesting. Okay, Ron, I'm sorry.
Yeah, one of the other things they talked about was going to radar detection or the,
Right, rather than the wire traffic loops that senses the car coming in the intersection, they're actually gonna be radar sensed. So they'll know you're pulling up there and
Well, that'll help with those people that stay 3 car lengths back and stop and wait to go through and don't kick that damn trip that wide.
yeah.
Drives me out of my mind.
yeah.
Yeah, boy, I have some moments that I feel like I should. Go ahead, Ron.
Yeah, the other thing that we have pending is we have had communications with Farmington Market Center. And we are awaiting their response. Hopefully, we'll be able to do some action on that. If not, next Tuesday night, following meeting. And get this thing moving along. As you know, there's a number of businesses that want to come in and relocate over there. It's just been a very long, drawn out process.
That's what we heard.
Yeah.
Hey,
The other thing is that we received some new information from BME about the letter of credit release for the work that's been done on the GLN property next over there on 96. We're waiting to get some more information from them, and you may have that on your agenda at the next planning board meeting, or it could be at the March meeting,
okay,
depending on how quickly they respond. That's basically what I have right now.
okay. This is a general comment before I forget it. We're only gonna have 3 members at our next meeting. Doug and Aaron are gonna be missing in action. So, keep that in mind, and if anybody has a problem, let me know as soon as you know it. If you can't make it, and then we'll have to cancel the meeting because we need 3. Okay,
The other thing that I'll state to that is that your Chapter 9 provisions do allow for an alternate member.
yeah, never done that.
You haven't done that, you haven't seen the need to do that. But it's something that you need to keep in mind.
Yeah, yeah. We'll have to think about that. Okay, Augie,
I don't have anything crazy to add for you, so.
what's, next agenda looking like, or don't you know?
I do know, I actually have it here in front of me. So we have the Pintail Crossing,
Yep,
for the re-subdivision, 4-lot re-subdivision public hearing. And Union Crossing site plan amendment. That's.
final site plan amendments.
Correct.
Take a good look at that. We only get one cut at it, so.
Yep, so that's alteration to, or amendment to the building size. Still, I think it's still a 520,000 square feet total between the two. But they cut the one building down significantly to add for a client that wanted more space. So
It's a reconfiguration of the
Yeah.
2 buildings with
Yeah,
the square footage staying the same, but just different layouts of the building.
Exactly, footprint, and the only other thing to add to that is that, of course, Paddock's Landing. Hopefully we'll
yeah,
Right,
be able to meet with them and get that resolved and back before you.
okay. Okay, Tim,
Final fruit.
Yeah, pretty mild winter so far, so.
that it has been.
I hope it keeps going. I don't know about the rest of the guys.
Yeah, I'm sure your crew guys, plow guys aren't too happy, but
We're getting lots of trees cut.
there you
there you go.
go. Should be, shouldn't it?
All right, I'm sorry.
We received today the final drawings for Farmbrook. I'm not sure whether it's gonna be on the 21st meeting or in March, but
Okay,
it's coming.
I'm hoping in March, because
I think it's,
I'm
I
it would be tough to get down.
think it's gonna fall from March, the March 6th date.
yeah, I would assume so. I just signed the document, so we have the preliminaries signed.
Right.
I just signed those tonight. Okay, Lance?
I don't have anything to add.
Okay. Thanks for helping Larry tonight with
Oh,
his understanding. He had a real concern on Paddock's Landing of where the water was gonna go from that detention pond.
Obviously, they provided the right information because he left.
Well, I told him we weren't doing anything with it, so,
It was pretty straightforward, pretty,
I
yeah,
said
it was pretty straightforward,
yeah,
pretty easy.
well, he's just concerned. That's,
As he should be.
backs up to his own property.
I get it.
but He's concerned.
Yep.
Of course, wait till he gets kids fishing in his pond back there. Now he's really gonna be concerned.
And the problem won't be flooding anymore. It'll be-
That's true. That's true. From my standpoint, everything, seems to have been going pretty smooth. Working with staff on different things and the resolutions, making sure we get them out. Keep an eye when we send them because you'll get multiple copies and the latest one is the most important one because things change all of a sudden and we have to redo things, just like the attic sliding one. All of a sudden gotta hold up because we gotta change something, so. You guys have anything?
We haven't got anything on that Black Creek.
No. We'll get it for the next meeting, right?
Like Union Crossing,
Union Crossing or whatever.
yeah, you'll get it in your packets for the next meeting.
Next meeting. So, and then, even if you're not gonna be at the meeting and you have some comments, let me know and we'll make sure we get them in there, so you guys get a chance to look at them, so. All right, anybody have any other comments? Motion to adjourn by Tim, seconded by Doug, all in favor? Aye. All right.